Any religion that puts a $60 million bounty on someone's head for exposing the truth does not deserve to exist. Watch this.
With me right now is a very honored guest, Father Zachariah Boutros. You've been called Islam's public enemy #1. There's a $60 million Al-Qaeda on you. Father Zachariah was the one who started all of this off in this modern age, and that's why a group like Al-Qaeda wants him. He knows a lot more than I ever will on the topic of Islam because he has access to sources that I just don't have access to.
First of all, I wanted to clarify that my target is not attacking Islam. My ultimate intention is to preach the gospel to Muslims. When I speak about Islam, Muhammad, and Quran, is to expose that they are from Satan in order to save Muslims.
Muslim leaders say things like, for example, that the Quran has been perfectly preserved, never one change anywhere in the Quran. But when I read the books, I find in the Muslim sources, it talks about changes all the time. Entire chapters of the Quran being lost, verses being lost, Aisha's sheep eating verses that are no longer in the Quran. And I know the Muslim scholars, the Muslim leaders, they have to know this. They've read these sources, so they know this information.
I want Muslims to know that Muhammad was a false prophet, deceived by Satan, and Satan guided him all his days of life when he was on earth. Muhammad was deceived by Satan, who appeared to him and who talked to him and who guided his way. So he deceived Muhammad, and Muhammad deceived all Muslims about Quran. Not less than 40 episodes about the errors in Quran. Scientific errors, historical errors, geographical errors, theological errors, and grammar errors, Arabic language errors. How could a book from God is full of these errors? Inspired not by God, inspired by Satan to Muhammad, to deceive him and deceive all the people. And Satan is working against Christ. As God was incarnated in Christ, so Satan imitated that. Satan himself was incarnated in Muhammad.
For you Muslims who are watching, there are lots of stories that your leaders just don't tell you about. And so the only way you Muslims learn about these stories about your prophet is to come to us, right? Because we're the only ones who are going to tell you. Your leaders won't tell you. Politicians won't tell you. No one's going to tell you what is in your actual sources. Very strong language to say that Muhammad is led by Satan or something like that. But if you read your sources, you see why. Muhammad's first impression of his revelations was that he was demon-possessed. Muhammad later claimed to be the victim of black magic, which was giving him these crazy thoughts and false beliefs.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. And it's no wonder because Satan can literally masquerade as an angel of light. Literally synonymous to that of Joseph Smith and the Mormons. The thing with Muslims is that they believe that violence will shut down the truth of Christ, but Satan has literally been trying to shut down the truth of Christ and of God and of righteousness since the time of Adam. And the gospel will not be stopped. The good news will not be stopped. It will literally prevail over the gates of hell itself. And unfortunately for those of my brothers and sisters in Islam, understand this much. My animosity is not towards you whatsoever. If anything, I want to give you the good news of Christ so you yourself can be my brother and sister in Christ and get away from this antichrist satanic religion that's ultimately a demented death cult. Literally putting hits on people who expose the truth of Islam. The most recent being Jesus and whatnot. Literally being contacted by terrorist organizations and literally being threatened with his life and his family for preaching and talking about and exposing the truth of Islam. Literally, Inspiring Philosophy, Mike Jones, literally is on a campaign to get out of his current home to go to a new home in the gated community and is literally being threatened by insane, evil-minded, Satan puppetized criminal SOBs from Islam. Same thing with God Logic, same thing with Sam Shamoon, same thing with anyone that exposes the truth. And now we have this brother over here who has a $60 million bounty on his head for exposing the truth of Islam. But ultimately, the gates of hell won't stand against the gospel. The gospel will continue. And ultimately, this is a spiritual battle between the forces of good and evil. So I humbly pray that people can understand the fullness of the truth and come to where the fullness of the truth is at, because it's definitely not in the Quran. It's definitely not with Allah, who is Satan. It's definitely not in Islam. It's with my great King, Jesus Christ. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe. I thank you for the support, and I hope you all have a blessed day. All glory to my great King.